well, more or less the coup of a kingdom. Aster and gang managed to circumvent a few laws, both humanitarian and actual laws, and managed to take position into, well, the army general. With Aster at the helm, currently things are organized at the very least. Who's to say how things will wind up? But in 3 months' time, you will have ample time to actually do a few things, maybe get or gain some type of connections here and there. Kasami is also, for some reason, in the lineup of the army, which is fine. You can totally be. I just realized that you're there. But with 3 months' time of... It's not real downtime, it's more of how do you guys get these guys loyal to you is the thing. Right now, you do have Saul, someone that knows of your skills and attributes, but he is not really a general, but he is a commander that they follow. So that's a good starting point. Jean, more or less your purse, is also there, but he is a tradesman, merchantry. So he has no real pulls or connections here, but he can potentially get into contacts with things here and there. And lastly, you do have Milo, but you have no idea technically what he's all about. You can use him. Even though as in the game, you know he's some sort of rendezvous agent kind of person. But you don't know it in the game. So no luck on that part. You have 3 months to get them on your side. So with that, we will get started. Oh, more or less the 3 months time is the downtime I mentioned last time. Also, as in my notes, it does state you all have inspiration. So just keep that in mind. So, while you begin to start and begin to, I want to look at, I know you posted something in here.
I posted a big, long, schedule of, what I'm gonna do for the army training and whatnot. Was, pretty, detailed.
Oh, yeah. I read this a while ago, just refreshing. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. All right. The dawning hours, the dawning days of the next few weeks, it goes into a military-like stance. Well, style. Waking up bright and early at 6 a.m. Well, let's go with military time. Now, let's... Oh, wait, you do go with military time.
I don't know if there was a different, sun schedule, so I just kind of used normal time as...
Let's just keep it the same. There is no need to say, I don't know, 23:47
hour cycle in this universe, right?
Yeah, 24-hour cycle. Let's not make things complicated. There's 12 months in a year. 12 months, usually 4 to 5-ish weeks in each of those months. There's summer, winter, fall, spring. Spring can fall can also be considered autumn. Whatever. Just consider this calendar cycle the same. But waking up bright and early, you begin to train them easily enough. It is a grueling task to train people that more or less, well, as you begin the day, kind of seem more like swords for hire. Sword and board. People that have been trained but not really regulated. They are basically sent out to do a job, and whether or not they accomplish it is the entire process of what they have been trained for. Not keeping your teammates alive, not keeping your allies alive, not potentially making diplomatic means or connections. Ultimately is point these guys there and murder the area and then come back. So giving them an actual strict regimen or schedule is something most of them are not used to. The more wizened, more aged in the military are used to that, but the current factor at hand, based on how the general will work them, a lot of the new recruits are not used to this kind of thing. They've been trained and then just been sent out as cannon fodder. Unfortunate, but true. So, Aster, go ahead and roll persuasion with advantage. All right. The first few days, it is grueling for them, but all right, yeah, the whole later thing. The first few days for them is grueling, but more or less they get accustomed to it. Rather than seeing any defectors or some type of, oh, why he's a leader again, or that one random dude that you had to own to get everyone to listen to. There's not really a lot of that going on. A lot of them signed up for this kind of mission, and some of them were just, as royalty does, sends their kid off to war to gain titles and then come back. So this is new, but overall, they're getting accustomed to it rather easily. With the benefit of you also joining them, they begin to pick up the rhythm and continue on forwards. You do gain some of their trust, but not everyone's trust, which is good. The first few weeks is honestly the fundamental structure of everything. However, the ones you don't fully gain trust are the more wizened individuals, because you quite literally bypass them to lead the entire army, but they are smart enough not to, well, rock the boat, as it would be. But they're not saying anything, and honestly, that's fine. As long as you do the missions and they continue on their work, that's generally how things go. Eventually, when... what am I calling it, the regiment? Eventually, when the schedule is over, a good amount of them spread apart into their own groups. You can tell that a good amount of them do have their own cliques, their own style of doing things. The ones that are always wearing armor are known as the shinies, or the glitz and glamour. Ones with the more buzz cut looks to them are more of the soldier boys. They are military bred and born, and that's all their families know. Ones with longer hair, you know them as the nobles or noble kin, because they just came in here with the thought of, I'm gonna be in the military, but I'm really not gonna go out there and fight. Unfortunate but true. And lastly, you do have the more wizened, aged gentlemen, which you just know as the generals or the leaders, because they're generally the generals or the leaders. Overall, they know how things are done and easily are the ones that pick up the pace with everything else. As things progress, Kasami, is there anything you're doing while this is going on? You can definitely join them if you want.
So during the downtime of the next 3 months or so, Yoku will probably just train. She'll try and find the best or the better swordsmen that are in the army and see if they can help her at all.
Yeah. After a couple of days to maybe a week, some more recruits, well, not recruits, but some more people that come into town not that long ago come back to their posts. They have been out for a while and, well, they get explained to them, hey, this is the new guy, he's currently in charge. King's orders. Eventually, you do find one of them. Why can't I find my swordsman NPCs? Oh, because that was in my maps. I am dumb. Eventually, you do find someone that has a nobleman's look to them, very robust, very, honestly, vampire-looking now that I see him. Standing before you is a 5'7" tall individual, a man with long golden hair. Very porcelain skin. Honestly, he looks more like a doll than a person, but if it wasn't for his height, yeah, almost picture perfect. Picture perfect. To his right and left side, you can tell that he has ornate decorative longswords. On the hilt of the blade, inscripted in Elven, you do see a few words on there. Do you speak Elven or read it?
Yes, I do.
On the right sword, it says ebony, and on the left sword, it says ivory. But you approach him, wanting to maybe learn a few things, and he does state, yes, I was told that new prospects are joining, and we do have a new leader. I assume you're one of the individuals that are joining our team? What? Technically military, but this is more of a team thing. We connect, we commune, and we eat and fight together.
Kinda. I'm a friend of the new leader. I'm looking to hone my skills a bit more.
Oh, I see. Pleasure to meet you. The name's Roy M. Taylor, but you can just call me Roy.
You can call me Kasumi.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, Kasumi. Now then, I assume you have the basics done, or should we practice on those first?
Yes, I'm competent.
Very good. Well then, let's just let me go speak with my new general, and we will see if we can requisition the field. He comes over to Aster without too much of an issue. Roy reports in with an arm barred to his heart and 2 fingers extended outwards in a salute. He does state, what would he say? New general, so he wouldn't use his normal thing. Looking towards you, Aster, he does state, greetings, sir. I am Roy M. Taylor. I assume you are the general as described.
You would be correct. General Aster.
Pleasure to meet you. Lieutenant Commander Roy. At your service, sir. Your friend here, Miss, man. No, he'd be military. Your friend here, Miss Kasami, has requisitioned my services. If you would do me the honor of allowing me to use the field for practice.
This is specialty training, I assume, yes?
Yes. She does seem like she has the basics covered, at least according to herself, and I do not know her own stances. So this is field work in and of itself, as well as seeing what potentially I can teach her.
That sounds excellent. I'll have the field during normal specialty training hours, and we'll gather around everyone so that they might also learn a thing or two by watching the both of you.
Very well, then. Putting Kasami on the spot. Okay. After a good day's training, Kasami joining or not is entirely up to them. As mentioned beforehand, being put on the spot, Roy comes over, gets you. Why can't I find... There we go, RP out of game. Yeah, this would probably be done after the... It'd be doing open hours, so after 1300 hours. Oh wait, sorry, not 13. Further down.
Around, no, you're right. 13 is when specialty training starts.
Alright. Sorry, I only read this once and then reviewed it now. People gather because you call them over. While you were training and while you were listening in, Roy is lieutenant commander, which just means he has a platoon under his leadership. He went in to investigate the neighboring bordering kingdom to the north, which isn't that it's not that surprising. It is Numenera, the magical kingdom itself. He went under a diplomatic cause, but you're not exactly sure the name or reason why he did. You can ask him about it if you want, but while you gather the crowd around Kasami, he does state, very well then. Miss Kasami, I believe you do understand the basics according to yourself, so it should not be too much of an issue. He more or less begins to stretch, and then simply enough, begins to have his ebony blade drawn out, which is it's not a very bright blade, but it almost seems like made out of an entire tusk of a tooth. You're not exactly sure why. It has a very dull color, but it does feel like it's made out of steel or something of metal. He presents his blade straight towards you as a gesture and waits for you to do the same.
Kasumi will ready her blade and I guess get into a fighting stance.
All right. As you get into a fighting stance, I want you to go ahead and roll insight. Well, I was going to say insight. Initiative.
Need to really make sure that he's ready for a fight.
I guess, yeah. Actually, tell me, did you join them in the training? Like the sprints, the push-ups, the sword bouts?
Yeah, I should do that. Just make sure she's still, keep up good physical fitness and stuff.
Okay. He rolled well, but not that well. All right. While you were keeping eye and ear of things, you can tell that this man was pretty quick. Maybe not the fastest person in this entire team, but pretty quick based on the armor set he had on. Based on for that, though, you can also tell he is pretty hard to hit. He does seem to have some type of armor underneath his giant cloak. Since you heard the little jingles and jangles of things, which also means that he has his advantage on stealth. It's a good thing that's not needed right now. However, you can tell he is skilled by the type of movements he used during combat training. Looking towards you, he does state, all right then. Simple enough, we do not kill each other, as that would be fruitless and it would waste a life. Second, do not use anyone around us to take a blow for us or attempt to kill them. If you would. Are you a magic caster as well?
Yes.
I would refrain from using area of effect spells, as that would potentially hurt someone outside of our little fight. But that's entirely up to you.
This is just between us.
All right, then. You may proceed when ready. Kasami, you're up first.
Well, she'll start her blade song and cast mirror image on herself.
All right.
And that'll be it for this turn.
Right? I think that gives you 2 mirror images of yourself, correct?
3.
3. All right. 3 illusionary duplicates of yourself and appear in space until the spell ends. Duplicates move with you and make your action. Shifting position, it's impossible. Track which image is real. You can use your action to dismiss the illusionary duplication. Each time a creature targets you with an attack during the spell, creature's attack turn, roll a d20 to determine whether the attack instead targets you or one of your duplicates. If you have 3 duplicates, you must roll a d6 or higher to change the attack's target to the duplicate. With 2 duplicates, you must roll an 8 or higher. With 1, you must roll an 11 or higher. The duplicate's AC equals 10 plus your difficulty modifier. If an attack is a duplicate, the duplicate is destroyed. Duplicate can be destroyed by an attack that hits it. It ignores all other damage and effects. The spell ends when blah blah blah. Okay. He does state. All right then, very good. He hits his chest, and for a weird second, you feel as if he went fuzzy. You're not exactly sure why. But he moves forwards. With a quick sprint, he aims directly towards you. Who knows if he will hit you exactly. Alright. No, that's fine. I'll just show you his roll. That is a-okay with me. Yeah. Yeah, of course he would roll pretty bad. He aims directly towards you, but each of your duplicates and yourself move to the side without too much of an issue. As that happens, he quickly moves over and tries to swing in again. Uh, 21, I assume, hits. So go ahead and roll to see if it hits a duplicate or yourself. I think with an 8, you need to roll 6 or higher.
Yeah, 6 or higher for the first duplicate.
Yeah. So it hits duplicate. So it immediately slashes in, and one of your duplicates is now gone. All right. What's the shield there for?
For my
Blade song, I'm assuming.
Blade song.
Okay. But that is his turn. He'll use his bonus action to. You're not entirely sure. He'll use it for something.
Pocket fan.
Like a fan. Takes out a fan. Hands himself. Kasami, you go again.
Let's see. One sec, I want to double check something.
All right. So is it Kasami or Kasumi?
Kasumi.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay. I'm gonna make 2 attacks and then flurry of blows.
Okay, so first 2 attacks and then flurry of blows?
Yep.
Okay. Striking into the air, go ahead and roll for your secondary attack as it swings in the air and it cuts just through the air. Once again, striking him with your secondary strike. The electric current goes around him and just arcs over him. Go ahead and roll it 2 more times.
The attack?
Yeah. For some reason, you feel like you have disadvantage. So it'd be 16 and it'd be 13. Striking in the air, he seems to be moving, but at the exact same time, it seems as if he is not fully there. Unfortunately, he does not hit. All right. With the secondary strike, you go in for a jaw swing, but not. Oh wait, you use your feet. high uppercut kick. However, it does not hit. While he's more or less moving and arcing his body away, you manage to grind your heel into his side. Because the 22 still hits. For 13 points of damage. Very strong kick. You'd kill 3 farmers with that kick. Going with the farmer matching. He does go. Very good. Martial arts, perhaps.
Yes, a bit.
All right, then. Everyone does need to be quite rounded. After all, you never know if you lose your blade. You can hear some murmuring in the background in the audience for some reason or another. Honestly, if you have a passive of a 13, you can easily catch the murmurs. I think all of you have.
Yeah, I've got 17.
Yeah, even I make that.
Yeah. I know, Astor's was pretty bad. You just hear some murmurs going around. Whoa, they hit him. What? That's impossible. He never gets hit. Never gets hit. Assuming anything else.
Nope.
All right. Roy then states, it's been quite some time. Usually only things that breathe fire get me. Moves over to the side. Brings out ebony, and you see a very dark blade. But once again, it doesn't seem to shine any light on it, as if the casting of light does not fixate on it. But at the exact same time, you can tell that nothing is fixating on this blade. It's as if it's empty, or the area around it is not affecting it. But that's neither here or there. He goes in for a swing. That's a natural one. And you just manage to parry his blade. Let's face it. You look a lot better. You twirl it around, you manage to grab it, and you hand it over back towards him. As a novice. And he thanks you for it. And then goes in for the ivory blade. Does 21 hit?
Yep.
All right. And I think with 2, you need an 8 and above.
Yeah. Continuing the trend of rolling just 1 above.
Well, that's 2 above, because you need 6, and then you need 8. Then you need 11.
Well, yeah, but I rolled 1 above last time, and
Oh, yeah, you did. Wow. All right, fair enough. Striking in once more. You lose another of your images, and you're down to 1. Oops, I gave you a secondary one. Oops, that is not you. There we go, me. I can do things. He does state. Ah, very good, very good. All right, then. Well, I don't want to be shut up by this. He uses his bonus action to go in for another strike. Getting rid of that. All right. Honestly, I don't think this even hits your Ghost Kasami image AC. So, yeah, swinging in the air does not even make traction. Man, I don't want to say what he's partially, but you probably know what he is, or at least partially know what he is. Because I'm blanking on the rules. Da-da-da. Do you get second swing?
hey, Star.
Hi, Star.
I passed out. I'm on 3rd shift this month, so I didn't get home until about 9. I worked overtime, so.
That is fair. I assumed that was going to happen. Okay, cool. He does get his second swing. The 17 hit.
Yep.
Okay, roll for... And I think you might have done it again?
No, on the dot this time, but
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, all of your duplicates are gone. But you still haven't hit, which is good. And that eats up his something action. Kasami.
I'll move over there and same as last time, 2 attacks and flurry of blows.
All right.
And still rolling with disadvantage.
Yes. Oh, that's a 16. You swing in the air, and like you did to him, he parried your blade, managed to twirl it out of your hands, gives it back to you. Same kind of action. You go in for a secondary strike, but the last one seems to just arc over his body, barely missing. Going in for another strike, you manage to sock him in the jaw. No, wait. Kick him in the jaw. Those high kicks. For an additional 14 points of damage. Okay. And the last swing, it just swings in the air. He does state. All right, very good show. 2 for 1.
And that'll be it for me.
All right. He does say, perhaps I should pick up some martial arts. He then comes over towards this side, trying to clear the way. Without seeing more of you, he does state, all right then. Quite honestly, I wasn't sure if I was intoxicated for a while there. Simple humor. I don't drink while on the job. And then goes in for a strike with his Emily Blade. Does 20 hit?
Nope.
Cool. Oh, 17 hit your images. Okay, that's what I assume I hit last time. Okay, going in for a swing, trying to strike at you. Your dance or your movements seem to just adjust out of the way. Man, it's too bad Kasami's token doesn't have AC set up. I keep having to ask you. He goes in for a strike with Ivory. Does 24 hit?
Yes, but I'll use shield.
All right. You begin to cast shield, and the blade just stops right dead center in front of you. He turns around, whirls back. Oh, that's very good, very good. He then procs his hands upon himself, and you feel a radiance of magic go into his body. Oh, that's a little better. Your go, Kasami.
Okay, I'll attack him.
All right, 20 hits, 21 hits. Man, hitting now. You go in for another strike and go in for 26, 30, 35. For a good amount of cuts. And you can tell that this man is wearing down. Definitely considered bloodied. But it did take a while, which is impressive. He also managed to dodge a lot of your attacks, so that too.
And I'll do a flurry of blows again.
All right. 22 and 25 do hit. Going in for another couple of strikes. 23, 27, 32. All right, this man is heavily injured, but he's not down just yet. But another couple swings like that will bring him down.
Okay, and that'll be it for me.
All right. Coming over here once more, I just working the field because, all right then. This has been fun, honestly and truly. In fact, this is the most I've been hit for quite some time. Well, there was that one time with the red dragon, but that's neither here or there. I don't want to bring in my ex-wife in this. All right then. He brings out both blades, and I will use his special effect. And goes in for a... It's a weird attack. It looks like it's overarching and bringing both of the blades together in an X motion towards you. This does eat up his entire action, and he still might miss. Half bonus. I'll round it up to 5. And he miss. With the weird black and white blades, he goes in for a strike, and you move to the side. As you move to the side, the strike hits the ground, and you see a severing of stone. It's not like cutting jagged marks. It's like the stone is gone when the blades hit the concrete underneath you. He brings them back out, and you just see a clean nothingness there. You can see the ground underneath. That's perfectly honestly true. There. It's not as if it disappeared. It's just there is no sediment or cobblestone remaining. That does eat up his entire action, though. So he bounces himself back up by a little bit with his bonus action, and Kasami. Here we go again.
Okay, the same as last time. 2 attacks and then flurry of blows.
All right, it has been around, so 16, I'm afraid do miss. You go in for a swing, and it does seem that this time around, I don't know, maybe it was that weird severing into nothingness that is making you miss, not wanting to be drawn in or hit those blades once more, but you do not manage to strike in a single shot this time.
Okay, and that'll be it for me.
All right. As he finishes the round, Roy puts up both blades and ceremoniously puts them to the side, as if into the ground, and then simply bows. All right. That honestly has been a good show. But I do believe you have won. I honestly can't take another... Let's face it. Few kicks to the faces. Multiple kicks. The bout is yours, and you have definitely won.
It was a good match.
Indeed. Honestly, it usually takes a mage caster to strike me, or a... No, let's not bring up my ex-wife again. But truly, you honestly have the skills. All I can truly teach you at your current status, however, is a all-out assault, which just, if you have a multi-attack skill, as if you can attack more than once on your action round, you can attack once, but it'll enhance your attack by half your bonus, but double the strike, as if it would crit. Other than that, it does seem that your style is different than mine, so not much I can teach you in that regard. I'm afraid I can't do... He, tries to extend his foot up. Those kind of things.
If I might have the floor.
Of course. He stands back, bows, puts his blades back.
Of course.
That was an excellent demonstration from both Roy and Kasumi. I'd like to extend a humble thanks to both of them and invite everyone to do the same.
You get a whole bunch of them kind of geared up and ready to fight. Some of them wanted to test their strengths against the newcomers, and some of them just wanted to test their strengths because they haven't had to do that in a while. Over the course of time, you do get a few of them, or at least a few bits of knowledge here and there. You do find out that the triplets are semi-psionic, they can communicate with themselves between long distances. There seems to be no cap. It's not a spell they use. It's simple twin thing. Often than not, they were used basically for a messaging system between the field. You can tell that some of the soldiers are highly skilled with magic, and some of them are not. Some of them are pure fighting based. Often than not, though, a lot of them have access to cantrips or have means to have access to cantrips, which just means spell scrolls, magic books that they have or acquired, wands of the night, and the like. Overall, you can tell that this army of yours has been told, hey, you need to figure out how to use magic. Hey, you need to know how to figure out and how to use a sword. And hey, try to work them together. So a lot of the people you have in your team or in your army are basically spellcasters with swords, but that's not all of them. A lot of them, however, do know that if you fight against a mage, try to get as close to them as possible, or else you might not be able to hit them. You can tell that a good amount of them do have their strengths. And the ones that truly stand out to you, and the ones that stand out to the rest of the army and the ones that follow them are this man here, this woman here. They're not moving forwards because that would not be a thing to do. You already know Roy. This one here. And this man. They all seem to stand out quite well, but these are the 5 that stand out the most. There are, of course, the generals, but they have their own specialties. But these are the people's people. You already know the guy you've basically beat up the first day. Oh, I forgot I called him Lars. You know Lars, humanoid fighter. He does seem to have a fighting stance, as well as some monk-like abilities. I forgot I called her Ray. Let's change her name.
Look, Ray's back.
I'm gonna call her Vanessa. I don't think I've used Vanessa. Vanessa, she herself is much like Asami. She knows how to swing a blade, sing and dance. She's, however, not exactly like Asami. She is a fighter / bard. Roy, you can probably tell what he is. Fighter / paladin. Ba-ba-ba. And there's another Paula changing her name to Lois? Sure, why not? The names don't matter. Just the character sheets do. You now know Lois. She herself is a very good fighter, but she doesn't seem to have any magical abilities to her. She is just straight up fighter. But she understands how to take them down, which is the main part of combat. And there's another Mark. I gotta change these names. I'm just gonna call him George. I'm pretty sure I've ever called someone else George, but sure, there can be more than one George. And I'm pretty sure I just typed it out as Gorge, but you know what? Whatever. And you know Gorge, he himself is not exactly a fighter. He's more of a ranger. But he is a ranger / sorcerer. You do believe he has some innate abilities with Fey magic as he sprints into the battlefield as if disappearing for 1 second and reappearing another in a completely different spot.
Hey, wait a second. Sorry, that's a bad joke, perhaps.
Yeah.
That's much more information. I was just kind of like, hey, guys, give it up for these two. They did real well. But, yeah.
Even though Lars more or less respects you because you took him down, Roy is more. You're the boss, great, listening to you. Vanessa, not so much. Lois, same, and George, same.
There are some important takeaways from this bout that I think are worth noting. First of all is the excellent use of defensive tactics in studying their opponents, shown by Kasumi. When the bout first started, not knowing what she was up against, she prepared defensively and adapted once Roy had shown his hand. I think that's a very admirable and excellent stance to take. Something we might be able to take away from Roy, who was perhaps going easy for the sake of demonstration, but never underestimate your opponents. He was holding back at the start, and I think that cost him the bout. Meditate on these things. Think about what you might do in this situation, and train as though you would be put in this situation. Dismissed. Back to your groups.
They all just shout out, "Sir!" and immediately all disperse. Although it'll take me a while. So give me a minute. Yoko needs a rematch now to see if Roy really was holding back. You can ask him. Or you can fight him again.
Can I tell if it looked like he was holding back?
Roll insight. Maybe. Like, it's not a definite, but you don't know his skills or training. It's possible, but that doesn't mean it's likely. If you believe he was holding back, then maybe.
She'll head over to him to ask him, is what Aster said true? Were you holding back during our fight?
I was holding back some skills that I have, but not all of them. You did, in fact, win that. There were other skills that I could have used that might have hit you or caused great damage, but that in itself would have potentially hurt others around you. So, in that regard, yes, but no when it came to throwing my blows.
I see. Thank you.
Of course. I'm assuming you held back as well.
Just with some of the spells I could have used.
Naturally. But
It wouldn't do to be throwing around lightning bolts here.
Quite true. A lot of this place is made out of wood. But if you'll excuse me, Miss Kasumi, I do need to go and train with my regiment team. It's a pleasure
Of course.
meeting you.
And you as well.
Yes. I hope to see you at the Fall Festival in about 2 months, I believe. We all have a break time then. So I'll see you there, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Goes back with his group. Milo, what are you doing?
Here or in general?
Both?
Well, would you be hanging out here during the 3 months or whatever?
Not really. If Aster and you didn't mind, Milo would have went out of town.
Just hit.
Yeah, Aster's not going to stop Milo from going out of town.
No, Yoko won't either.
Yeah.
They didn't stop her from going and picking up her swords.
Very true. Milo, Where are you heading off to then?
Milo and the bear will head off back to those woods where they're Kasumi or I forget your character's real name now.
Yoko.
Yoko?
Yeah, Yoko had told him about the news people were saying that there was a upsurge of
Animals attacking and things
werewolves
like that.
and stuff, and the animal attacks and everything. And go and actually see if he can catch some glimpses of some of the animals
All right.
and everything, and see what's going on.
As you begin to head... Oh, these things are not in the proper layer. As you begin to head out into the town that you went to beforehand, you know the shortcut easily enough. Do you go into town or do you investigate the forest area?
I just go to the forest where the rumors are not rumors, but the information about the animals, the creatures and stuff. Sorry, I'm still waking up, so my throat's a little sore.
No problem. As you investigate the area where the forest lining works, or / is, I was going to use this cut screen for something else, but it can work here. You don't see the statues and the thing. You just see forest. So ignore those parts. As you venture forwards with your bear, you do see the forest area quite lively with animal brush, green foliage, and things of that nature. You can tell that the forest is growing back at an expedient pace. Beforehand, you saw it somberly dying, breaking apart, more than likely due to the spirit thing that was captured a while back ago, and you now set free. As you get close to the area, you do see a few owls, which is weird because it's the middle of the day, just looking at you from perched up at the tree, keeping an eye on you as if they were sentries.
I acknowledge them and let me check this spell real quick. I need to figure out how long it takes to cast.
Yeah. As you acknowledge them, looking an eye at them, they more or less do the whole bird bobbing up and down thing, and just stating, woo, woo.
Cast, speak with animals.
All right.
Ritually.
As you ritually cast, so 10 minutes later, you just say who at them, and then go in bird owl language, but not actual owl language, because that's an actual thing. You just hear, yeah, keep walking.
What's going on here?
What's going on? You gotta mind your business.
But the forest is my business.
Nah, this is Greenwood's territory now. Now that she's back.
Bronx house. Greenwood. Was that the name of the spirit that we've helped out?
No.
No.
I don't think you ever got her name. You might have. I don't remember. Well.
I don't remember if we did or not either. Who's Greenwood?
Give me 1 second. Nope, you never got her name. Looking at you, these Bronx owls, I guess, they're that now. I was just going with an uppity accent, but sure. Hey, that's a boss! The other owl next to them states, that's our boss. We listen to them. They tell us what to do. Yeah, you heard them. Now, if you ain't part of Greenwood's gang, then you best be getting out of here. If you didn't look like the guy she told us to keep an eye out for, we'd already be messing up you. And your pretty face.
I think he's pretty.
Well, they can't see my face, for one thing.
It's more or less a vague threat.
Yeah. I'll stop my bear, and I'll hop down. It's like, would you be able to lead me to Greenwood to have a meeting?
What do you think we look like? A bunch of snitches? We owls.
Mm-hmm. And of course you look
We ain't
like
no
that.
rats. We eat them. Mice too, actually.
Oh. I know.
You want to try to
owls.
persuade them?
Yeah, I'm trying to finish up my sentence, but I had
Oh
felt
yeah,
like
yeah.
I was about
Sorry.
to off. Sorry. I'm not here to mess with anybody. I just would like to speak. Halflings, shut up, Yoko.
Was that the end of the sentence?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll persuasion. It's not that bad. They are owls. They're not exactly the smartest things. The one that's giving more of you business goes, yeah, we'll see about that. Jeremy looks to the owl on the left. Yeah? Go ahead and tell Greenwood that, I don't know, what's your name?
Milo Tea Leaf.
Milo wants to talk. If they want to talk, they'll come get you. If they don't, and keep walking. Jeremy nods, and then begins to fly out in a direction. Do you follow or do you just chill out?
I'm just gonna chill out. But quick question: you know the blessing you, Melora gave me and Aster, the like armor.
Yeah.
Did it change our skin any? Like any bit?
It
Like,
feels rougher to the touch, but visibly there's nothing there.
Okay. I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
The personal reasons.
Roughly around 10 minutes later.
I can no longer talk to the owl.
The secondary owl comes over, lands next to the other owl, whose name you never got, and they just toot. And then the first owl that was more or less giving you attitude just hoos at you.
I'll recast Speak with Animals, but this time not a. I'll just use a spell slot.
Okay. In between that, the last bit of the sentence you get is, so you best be waiting.
Repeat that. I couldn't understand you for a moment.
He just looks towards you. You ain't my boss. And then the other one does state, it does seem that Greenwood would and is willing to communicate with you. And my companion here has stated that you should wait.
So they're coming here.
You heard what he says.
Shut up, obnoxious owl.
That ain't my name.
That's your name from now on for me.
Think you're all fine and better because you have opposable thumbs? Yeah, I got 2 thumbs right here. You think he's giving you the finger? You're not sure?
I give him the finger.
Yeah, you're getting along just fine.
Yep.
Eventually, about 5 minutes later, someone does come to the area. You do know this person. It is copy and paste. Oh, wrong layer.
It's a spirit. I don't remember
her?
interacting too much with her.
You don't have her name, and you don't believe it is Greenwood. But she comes over, easily enough, walking towards you. She looks at the tree, and she does state, thank you, Jeremy, and thank you, Ronaldo. It ain't no thing. We always got your back. Gonna keep here and stick to his back, too, just in case you think he's doing the whole knife to neck thing.
take it your actual name is Greenwood then.
No, it's the title they gave me after bringing greenery back to the forest. But they did mention you would like to speak with me about something?
Well, I just heard a lot of people were talking in the towns about like more aggressive animals and stuff and some lichens.
Oh, yes, of course. As they and I would not want to have the, just looking at what Aster and Yoko put down, the forest treaded upon heavily once more. We have made it a little bit more secure. We do at times have to frighten people away and scare them, but overall it should be fine for them, so long as they don't travel in great hunting packs.
Dang. Would it be alright if I met with some of the lichens?
I suppose. They do have names. Is there any in particular you would want to meet with, or are you just curious about them?
I just have I could also talk with you too. I have some I'd ask for some help.
One moment. She looks up, looks at Ronaldo. Ronaldo. Yeah, boss? Do you mind getting, I think Farah might be open. Do you mind getting Farah? Ain't no thing. And it begins to fly out into the forest. Another 5 minutes later, so you can't understand the birds anymore.
Just 5 minutes later from right then. It's a 10-minute duration. So
It took her 5 minutes to get here, and then 5 minutes the bird comes back. So that's an
okay.
entire time.
Okay.
You cast it again.
No, I am ignoring
I
the
know.
birds.
I know.
Because I know I can understand her.
Yeah. You could the first time. Farah, where are you, Farah? Humanoid, merfolk, halfling, orc. That's goblin. Do not see. Should have made this alphabetical. Oh, found her. Soon enough, tabaxi-ish looking person. It definitely does look like a tabaxi, honestly. But they have more panther-like attributes to them rather than humanoid. But you only get so many tokens.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Nevertheless, though, she does look towards you. And Greenwood does state, this is Farah, one of the hunting party regiment's leaders. Farah does look towards you, and she does state, Farah does state, is there something you want?
It's more of I'm asking for some help.
In what regard?
Well, it's more or less to anybody that's willing. I had a chat with Melora a while back.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I kind of made an oath with her, and I have full belief in my capabilities.
Congratulations.
To handle it. Can I finish speaking?
Puts her hand up to suggest go on.
I have full confidence in my abilities to handle small things, but basically what I promised Melora to be able to gain her blessing. Basically, it's basically what y'all are doing here, restoring nature and everything, but on a much larger scale. Restore the balance. And I was wondering if he'd be willing to help. With some issues that are going on in the I forgot what the city was called that Aster and Yoka are in, right? The main capital.
You can say the capital of Kingdom. That's probably fine.
Okay. The capital of Aster's kingdom.
Yeah, that's fine. Farah does state. Oh wait, go on. Huh?
Some changes that are coming. Sorry.
Okay.
There are some changes coming. Some things that are happening in the capital that aren't natural. I've seen it with my own eyes. There are people there pulling demons and devils and putting them in people. And one of my friends that look at Greenwood, you may remember them, the tall human.
She nods.
It's trying to pull power from the current people so that he can stop it. And I want to help him, but I also want to restore balance. And if they're pulling devils and demons, that's breaking the balance. And I'm looking for people or beings, not much like yourselves, who are will not be forced, but are willing to help if they want to.
Alright. Milo, go ahead and roll persuasion with Greenwood, and with Farah, go ahead and roll persuasion with disadvantage. Alright, that's pretty good.
That was Greenwood.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay, that just basically means you have advantage, so 16. Greenwood does state, I am a spirit of this forest specifically, so I cannot travel that far. But I can grant you a bit of a gift to perhaps help you along the way. I can... I take it by the information I've gathered you don't care for my owl companions. You just see the two owls just looking at you. So perhaps a scout wouldn't be appropriate for you.
They're fine. I enjoyed the little banter. I miss it.
You just hear the who's and you're not exactly sure what they're saying. But she does state, for a short time, I can grant you the ability to read someone's surface thoughts. You would have access to this 3 times total, as I cannot grant this permanently, but it is something you would have available to you. As I'm sure you would want to seek the truth wherever it may lie.
She did. And like I said, it's not... I'm not demanding, I'm just asking.
Come on, Mets, let's go, Mets. Farah does state, if we go with you, then this forest is less secure. But I can see you wanting to protect the betterment of the world. I can offer 2 of my people, but I'd rather not have a potential outbreak in lycanthropy out in this kingdom. It would bring out too much attention.
I understand that. If it comes down to fighting, and if they do come and everything, I will make sure that there is no outbreak.
Mm.
You have my word on that.
Very well then.
Like I said, restore the balance, not break it.
She more or less whistles, and soon enough, two oaked, hooded, robed.
Oats?
I don't know where that came from. Two hooded individuals come out without too much of an issue. Hidden with garbs because, where people come out from the shadows. Man, they look super evil.
Super cool. And super
yeah.
dope.
But I wanted to go with a red eye look. She does state, these two may accompany you where you need them. But I do suggest you don't remove the mask, as it's keeping their tendencies to not go amok.
I nod, and I'll say this. They have every right to return whenever they want. I do not wish to force that which someone does not want to do.
Never thought they didn't. But good to know. You can tell she took that the wrong way. The green
How did it seem like she took it?
poorly. Because she was getting people to help you, but the way it sounded, it's like, these guys are mine now. You can't have it anymore. And then you went, oh, no, but I'm going to let them come back.
That's not
I will
what I meant.
allow them to come back. Is how she took it.
Okay, that is totally not what I meant. I apologize.
That's all good.
See,
You can say
no,
the
I'm
right
saying
thing.
that to her.
Okay.
I did not mean it to come across the way you took it.
I never
Babe,
tell with...
or of course, you... I
But-
don't know how to phrase this any better.
You state that, and she does state, can never tell with your kind, so... Understandable, I suppose.
I just meant that if they don't want to do something, they don't have to.
Not making it any better.
Okay.
But I will interpret it in the kindest way. That's probably the best you can do. You can tell she has a chip on her shoulder. More than likely, she has been betrayed by humanoids trying to kill off the lycanthrope. Because that's generally what happens.
I've been betrayed by people too.
Yeah. Notice bandage and scarring. But she does state that, and Greenwood does give you a small amulet. The amulet will let you read surface level thoughts within the scope of 2 seconds. It just means you can use it in combat if you want to. But also, immediate thoughts are allowed to be read. If you do intend to go deeper into someone's mind, it will burn the entire thing out.
I understand.
She hands you the amulet, and is there anything else you do?
I look over at her though, and I kind of give a slight bow, and just like take in her image for a moment, just like, because I can't remember if I had asked this back when we first met her. I don't think I've ever met a spirit like her.
No, a lot of people haven't. That's why that's why the night owls stole her to sell. They're not nice people. Yeah.
I just take in, but like, to be honest, the beauty of what she is and who she is, and then look over at Farrah and bow. I'll be on my way then.
She nods. Greenwood does wave goodbye to you. Heads back where she went. Farrah heads back, gives these two orders. They nod, and then she heads into the forest in an amazing speed, honestly. The owls are saying something to you. You either ignore or flip them the bird, because they're both birds. And you come back with 2 people. And no one knows who they are.
Do y'all have names?
When you head back, you ask them, do you have names? And they do state, it would be better for you not to know them. But if you do intend to call us something, you may call me 1 and the other 2.
Alright. I do appreciate the help.
Farah is our commander. And it'd be unwise to not listen to her.
Understandable. I have a friend like that.
She can be quite frightening. You believe it's a joke, kind of not a joke. But yeah, you can tell now that the forest area, people are being attacked, but no one has died, which is the main thing or the main takeaway. They're just being scared off.
That's what I wanted to investigate. And then when you brought her, I was like, oh hey, maybe she might help.
Yeah, unfortunately, she can't travel that far.
That's fine. That's not the problem. I mean, I wasn't asking, I was asking for a broad spectrum of help. If some wanted to come, that's fine. If not, that's fine too.
Yeah, you rolled well. But Aster, sorry for the wait, but what are you doing other than training your men and women?
I just want to draw attention to the officers, like the generals and whatnot, the captains and the like. They do have like a vaguely different schedule after lunch, where I'm like trying to like teach and learn military strategy with them.
All right.
And that was kind of like my plan to win over the older, more jaded crowd.
Fair enough. All right. You know Saul, you know George now, and you know Roy. The dude that got kind of honestly owned by Kasami. Illusion. Bringing in one another to train. What exactly are you trying to do to get on the good side, other than maybe beating him up?
Again, I don't think that's probably going to work on this crowd.
No.
But probably not in like the actual training quarters, but like inside like I'm gonna say like more like a lounge environment.
Yeah.
But I don't mean like there's alcohol flowing or anything. Just a somewhat refined environment. And we're trying to kind of go over past military battles, running mock simulations of like, hey, what if they had done this instead? And I'm gonna be open to learning from them, and I'm also going to be trying to teach them in like the sense of, oh wow, he actually is a leader and knows what he's talking about vaguely.
Yeah, it sounds diplomatic. It also sounds like you're willing to accidentally move the map.
The ground shakes and everyone dies.
Not yet.
We're playing Tremors.
Closer. You get into a nice lounge area, a little secluded. You find a little mess hall that has tables and the like. Bringing in the people here. Oops. Bringing in the more leaders here. You do more or less gain an understanding of them. You can tell that they are wizened, they are wise. George, Saul, Roy are all... They're not generals. The two at top are generals. Roy, Saul, and George are the ones that oversee the people and give them orders and also fight alongside the men. The two up top, which would be your advisor slash... General goes up to 5-star or 4?
In the U.S. military, it technically only goes up to 4, with 5 being only for wartime.
Aster, you would be a 5-star general technically, and these two would be 4-star. So you know these two give orders but do not go into combat, or at least don't go into combat anymore. Based on their information, however, you can see that they have been in bouts here and there. I don't think that was a name, but I can understand why I named him Bartle. It could be a name, I'm not sure. This is fantasy time. That was a weird way of saying fantasy time, but whatever. Yeah, it makes sense. I need someone else to mark. Whatever, you're Tristan now. Or Tristan. I'm not sure how I spelled that. You know, Bardo and Tristan are the 4-star generals underneath you. You are honestly in wartime, like all the time, because your kingdom doesn't know how not to be. How not to make friends. Over the course of time, however, these two had to learn. Tristan himself is more or less the diplomat and goes in before any fighting happens. If things don't need to be in combat, well, Tristan's the one to, you know, not make that happen. Bartle is sent afterwards when things fail, because none of them are really truly trained to be politicians. However, they are good at their job. They do lead well. They do have the entire thing set up properly. So the, you know, military hasn't broken down. But they are not fully trained in everything they do. Because unfortunately, the former general did not care how people died, how people led, or how they survived, as long as he did. Did I mention he was a bad dude?
I think yes, in between all the acts of adultery and whatnot.
Adultery, murder, experimentation on orphans, and others.
Just say he commits tax fraud, why don't you? Really drive home how evil he is.
Oh no, he pays his taxes in full. But no
Oh,
more.
that's even more evil.
No more than he has to. But you can tell that these are not evil men, but you can tell that some of them have followed orders to a T. Because they needed to. They're not evil, they're not good, they're just neutral. Which, honestly, is the best shot for you. Asher, go ahead and roll Persuasion.
I'm gonna use my inspiration for that sweet 18.
Yeah, I was about to say 10's not that great.
But I'm also going to go ahead and add my D8.
Yeah. Sweet D8. As you begin to converse with him, you can tell that Sol already kind of liked you. Good enough, honest man. Going on with the interpretation that he has now with you, with your political tactics. Tactics! You can tell he has a greater understanding of you and is willing to listen to you in a good amount of sense. Roy himself liked your teamwork and how you lead beforehand. Honestly, he was doing that with his own men. So now that it has been implemented with the rest of the soldiers, totally on board and giving off the ideas and everything like that, willing to listen to him, and definitely a plus with him. George, he kind of didn't like you beforehand. You may or may not have accidentally beat up his nephew. That being the case, though, he can understand why you had to do it. He can understand why and how your thought patterns process. He's no longer in the I don't like you category. He's in the neutral category, which is good. Bardo himself seems to understand your tactical skills. Oh, wait, Bardo's a girl. I forgot that. Bardo herself. Why did I name her Bardo then? Oh, because I named someone else Barbara when I was doing the names. And I wanted... Doesn't matter.
Not gonna
Name scheme
lie, I
bad.
had to zoom into it. I had to zoom in to realize that wasn't a mustache, but a hand.
Uh, I'm just looking through my notes and realized that. Doesn't matter. I should not name NPCs in an entire chunk of naming schemes. I just realized that now. Barter herself does seem to understand each and everything you do. When you basically beat up someone to take charge, she is more or less for that because she was in and out of prison during her youth. She rose up the ranks after learning and acquiring skills and made sure that no one had to die because of that. In that regard, however, she also wanted to make sure other civilians in the area did not meet or face the same type of acquisition or prosecution. So she brought them into the military and is currently training them. So you more or less have a criminal connection here? Not one that's current, but it is viable. She was part of the Night Owls, you assume. Tristan himself is thoroughbred to just do this kind of thing. He's the politician in the area. He was noble born, noble bred, and has never needed to fight. But during his youth, decided to see what was all about because, hey, if you're rich and you can do something, why not do it? Like the rich people that go off hunting somewhere. Just with lives. Humanoid lives, at the very least. He has gotten a knack for being a soldier and more or less enjoys it. But during this time of, well, his body no longer enjoying it, he went into a more diplomatical sense. He understands where you're coming from and understands that sometimes the sword is needed instead of words, and sometimes the pen is needed instead of words. So you showing both of these skills respects that. He's not sure where you're from, but as of right now, since the king has given orders to listen to you, he is listening to you. So far, everyone is favorable to you, minus George, but he's no longer not liking you, so that's a good start.
I'll end the studying and review a little early on this first day, and I'll open the floor up to questions to perhaps address or dissuade some of their concerns they might have about me.
Yeah. When you state that, George does state, all right then, fair enough. Then tell us, Mr. General Astor, pardon. From where do you hail from? From what we know, you are an outsider from the kingdom, and we're backed up by a merchant. So, you have allegiances towards another?
I was raised in what's the name of it? The kingdom to the south.
I was raised in the... Fuck, what was the name of it? No. You were raised in Ascara.
Ascara. I was raised in Ascara, but I assure you, I actually do hail from Mauritania, and I do mean the best for it.
Fair enough. Many people have, pardon the term of phrase, I don't know if you are one of these, bastard children outside of the kingdom and come back soon after. So that's understandable. Saul then states, come now, George, there's no need for that. So tell me, Mr. Astor, how are your impressions of the kingdom? You did mention you were raised in Ascara, but now being in your home country, what do you think of it?
There is a lot that needs to be improved. It saddens me to see the amount of hatred that walks on the streets. I would see that changed.
Saul does state, quite true. Preferably change soon. Roy then states, unfortunately though, those are the guidelines that the ruler has set out for the people. Well, we can idly talk about, well, amongst friendly folk at the very least, about change, about making things better for the common folk. It is not our place to decide that. Just simple following orders and leading through example. However, that doesn't mean we have to, as vulgar as this sounds, push someone to the ground and stomp them into it. You can simply walk around them.
To an extent, I agree with you. I think it's good to show moderation and to lead by example. In fact, I endeavor to do so.
Very good.
But
Tris, go ahead.
I cannot agree that it is not our place.
It is not my place. I am not seated at the council. Although I suppose it is your place now. With that, Tristan does state, well, that is technically true, Mr. Astor. While you yourself are seated at the council, we are underneath your thumb. Now, I understand that you may not see it this way, or maybe you do, but we all have roles to play. If you'd like, you can be the voice of the soldiers, or you can be the voice of the people, but you can't be both. We're not the king. But it wouldn't hurt to make sure people are treated well.
There's nothing saying I can't be the voice of multiple parties. Sure, the council might give me stern looks, but it's important to remember that sometimes sacrifices are necessary. If they want to give me stern looks for overstepping my boundaries, I will overstep my boundaries all day and night, so long as it leads to a nicer day on the morrow.
He nods at that, understanding what you mean, or pretending to. You're not entirely sure. But Bardo does state, be that as it may, there were others before you and before the late general that overstepped their bounds and are no longer here. I would advise not doing it that often, or at least not being caught by them. People have gone missing in the past and present. And if things continue on, the future.
I appreciate the concern, but regrettably, I think that I will be overstepping my boundaries much more than they have. Perhaps by doubling down on it, I'll find myself a measure of safety somehow.
You would likely need it, or perhaps make allies in the council. One or the other.
We could replace the council, there's a thought.
Perhaps. But we would definitely need some backing on that part.
Backing from, say, the military?
At the very least, and perhaps another 1 to 2 branches of the council's own sources themselves.
I think you're giving them far too much credit.
Well, if we are to replace them, we definitely do need other leaders in their stead, now wouldn't we? But enough about theory. If this meeting's concluded, you can see some of them are more or less itching to get back to work.
Of course, we'll call it here for the day. If any of you have any other questions you'd like to discuss in private, know that my schedule is very similar to yours, and I am open and I will return any questions you might ask.
They nod, and Saul does state, yes, we know. We saw the bulletin board with all of our schedules. Going back here. A few more days pass without too much of an incident, and eventually, Milo, unless you go somewhere else, you do get back into town.
I'll return to where Astrid and Kasami's at.
Okay.
With my new friend.
New friends.
That's what I said.
Oh, I
Friends.
heard with my new friend. You ditched the other one somewhere. Oh,
I
oops.
have become my new friend. Mwahaha.
Accidentally made the wrong tokens appear. Doot, 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 doot. Where are you?
Right here, boss.
There we go. Here's one and here's two. In case you get them mixed, I will write their not name names here.
One and
All right. Getting back here without too much of an issue, you do see John at the opening area. Asher is currently more or less keeping watch over the regiments, as well as taking up his own exercises. Jean does notice you beforehand and does state, Milo, you're back. How looks behind you? Goes it?
good. They're friends. Don't worry about them.
All right. Fair enough. Looks ahead. It does seem that your companions here have been training for quite some time. How have you fared?
Made some new friends.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of friends, you did mention that you might need help with everything. Put up air quotes. A great place to maybe find that would be, well, the bar not after. Oh wait, the name is, my bad. That's me at a game screwing up. There is a bar known as, After Hours. You might be able to find people there that would potentially be willing to help, but it would cost.
Okay. Appreciate the.
I'm still looking into things, but as of right now, your own team is predominantly the ones leading the charge now. So if you do need help, just let me know. But it does seem that your teammates are during their break session. So if you excuse me, I do need to get back to mine.
Yeah, quick question. Would you be able to find me a necklace that allows me to speak to animals, plants?
Animals and plants. That would be difficult to find, but not impossible.
Doesn't have to be this instant. No rush. Not that.
I might be able to procure a spell scroll, but those won't be permanent.
I know how to cast the spell itself.
Oh, well.
I'd like the, without having to...
I don't want to
use
waste
up
my stuff.
Without having to use some of my, reserve, if you know what I mean.
I rolled well. Doesn't mean I roll well all the time. You've seen my rolls. But yeah, you say without having to use my reserves or things I might need later on. John does state, I will look for it, but I can't guarantee anything.
No worries. It's just a thought. I appreciate it.
Nods. Gives you a letter. If you can give this to Aster and your companion. You can obviously read it. But I do need to get back to work. Soon enough, it is specialty training time, which does mean people can chit-chat here and there. Not all the time, but people will be training, and people will be watching them train. So it does give Milo time to speak with Kasami and Aster.
I'll point to the bear. He goes back to his normal space that he's been sitting at during the days. Everything. And I was like, you guys give me a minute.
They not.
I'll go and find Aster and Kasami. How are things? Been gone for a little bit.
They have been well. Good to see your safe return.
Yeah, surprisingly, it wasn't an issue really at all. Remember the I'm talking in hushed voices so that people don't hear us.
Yeah.
You remember the spirit we freed?
I do, actually, yes.
Well, the local wildlife gave her the nickname Wood. But she basically has been, the those talks you talked about, Kasumi, about the wildlife and everything, pushing people out and basically taking back the forest to help friends. And got some new friends, so. And I kind of nonchalantly motioned towards 1 and 2.
Nonchalantly points to assassins, maybe? Behind a lot of people, you do find 2 hooded individuals, just barely taller than Milo, standing at, well, not barely, taller than Milo, definitely, standing at both 5 feet even.
Yeah, I can't remember how tall did I say I was again?
I think 3'5"?
Like 210?
Oh, I think
210.
Kasami might be right.
Yeah, that's right. It was 210. I couldn't remember if it was 210 or 3 feet. But yeah, 210 because then that's right because Aster is 3 milos tall.
True.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Just know that if we did get into a scrap fight and my 2 new friends do partake, if I say kill the people that they're fighting, kill the people that they're fighting. Basically, I'll tell them that what they are, and that the person in charge asked me to help not spread the
Yeah. Milo basically states if you see them bite people or slash into people, kill that person.
Or if you have them fix it, do that.
That too, technically.
Yeah, but we're probably going to be killing the people when they take in the fight. So just make sure they die.
Well, I have made some more progress on the plan.
Good.
I think that the men are loyal enough. The generals themselves have entertained the idea of a coup. So I don't think it'll be long before I can get them to my side as well. I think we should plan to strike during the fall festival. A military parade and such a thing should not be too out of place. We can assign guards to the council members from our corps and plan a route that takes us straight to the castle and use that as our way to infiltrate it. Have the men assigned as guards murder the council, and we ourselves will see to the king.
I do hand him the letter. I was like, oh, yeah, good. Here. I hand him the letter that was it. I forget always how you pronounce his name.
Jean.
John handed.
It's like John, but on.
Jean. So I'll hand it to him, and like, you might want to read this.
Thank you, and I'll open it up and read it.
You begin to rip it up and set it on the fire. Got it. You open it
Shut
up.
up, God! That's not what I do.
Yeah. You open it up and read it. Do you share or you just read it alone? You're more than welcome to read it alone.
Sure.
Okay. First you read it and then the rest share. In it does state, Mr. Probably written in his voice. Mr. Astor, it does seem to come to mind that you will likely need people along the ride, as it would. If you'd like, I can communicate with people outside of your own branch and see what they have to say. If not, that is perfectly fine. I would be able to potentially grease some wheels, as it would. If you don't need it, just let me know and I will not do it. Otherwise, I still won't do it unless you give me the go-ahead, as I do not want to have any potential provocation before necessity. And then yours truly, Jean. It's written vaguely enough that if someone just picks it up, it won't make any sense to them, but to you, it probably makes sense. Based off of your own insight, you can tell he's saying, hey, if you want me to talk with any of the other council member groups to see if they're willing to help you out, I can pay them to do it, or I can find people that are willing to do it. But I won't do it unless you tell me to.
I'll turn to both Milo and Kasumi currently. I don't think bribery is the best course of buying loyalty. So unless either of you have any objections, I don't actually plan to pursue this route.
Well, he did say that he could try other means without bribery.
I am only so limited on the places that I can be and those who I can influence.
That's
I
fine.
don't wish to hold any gaps in this plan for those that might turn coat.
True.
I mean, Roy's coat is pretty great.
Being the military general, you do control the military. Probably the bigger. You might, in the foreseeable future, if the plan is done, you might be in control of. I'm doing this quietly.
But you can say you're doing it quietly because there's no one currently around you. They're watching the fights, even though I stopped doing the fights because I read the letter.
But I do have a feeling that after we do our plan, this is gonna be a military state for a while.
I have ideas on ensuring a smoother transition of power than most coups might. Though I will not say it will not be without its rough patches.
That's true. But alright.
Are you planning on entirely replacing the council? Or
Yeah.
were you
Good,
going to
because,
look into any of them to see if any of them might have any
what's his name?
potential?
I wrote it down with the guy that's from Aquas, but I can't find it.
Evil war crime guy.
Yeah.
You can just basically state as a more Nazi.
The racist war criminal cult leader wanted an Aquas, Zon.
Zon, yes.
Yeah.
I will. Milo does here. I will say this. Zon, I agree with you. If we could convince some of them to our side, that's fine. But Zon will die.
They are all complacent in the abduction and exploitation of the impoverished. I cannot abide it.
Got it. But I will have Zon's head.
Each of them to a degree, yes. Definitely true.
Wasn't one of them newly appointed, though?
Yeah, the halfling. Like, they might be doing it for reasons, but all of them are complacent. Aster is correct on this part. That doesn't mean they like what happens, but that also doesn't mean they didn't stop it. So you can take it however you want.
That's still treason.
Yes!
I want to make sure everyone's clear on that. That's still treason. That is still a crime.
Yes! I'm not saying no. But people do bad stuff in order to help themselves out, or potentially their family. But that doesn't mean it's not illegal still. Or bad.
I mean, if you're talking about stuff being illegal or bad, I mean, that's all of what we're doing.
I never said you guys were the good guys, or the heroes of the land. You're dudes. People. Women. Some people think Milo's a children. I don't know.
I will say that at least we're not being complacent in the act of abduction and super murder and exploitation and experimentation and bringing devils and whatnot.
Yeah. I will. I like Milo for the first time looks at Aster in the serious you've ever I don't know how to say it. The serious.
Most serious.
I don't know. Yeah, the most serious look you've ever seen him have. He will have Zon's head.
I think everyone was cool with that.
I didn't know if y'all heard because my headset was messing up.
It's all good.
So.
Do we all know what he's done?
No, y'all don't know. Wait, did we find out what he did? I can't remember. I know him from
Milo. You know. Everyone else certainly know.
Well, I have him down in my notes as a racist war criminal who is also a cult leader wanted in Aquas.
Oh,
yeah, but I think that was when I tried to remember.
After while the days pass, you can look into the council, and you would eventually know. Kasami, I'm going to say no, affirmatively no, unless one of the other two tell you. Well, Milo knows specifically. Aster, you can look it up if you bother to. But you might not want to, because that would be familiarize yourself and maybe getting a little too close to the enemy. Because you might find something that might make them good, or make you hesitate. Or you might find something pure evil and fully driven to kill them. Your call.
Like Milo is to kill this guy.
Aster has already made his decision on the council.
Yeah.
We're following your lead. So.
Like, do you look anything up about them? What they currently command? Because that's honestly a good strategical thing to do.
I mean, I thought we knew what they commanded, but yeah, I guess now that you say it, I don't think we do. So knowing what they're in charge of would be prudent.
Yeah. Do you yourself do it? Do you put a third party into this plan, or do you get someone that you control? Weird way of phrasing it, but yeah, technically control. To get the information and giving to you.
Is it not public knowledge? Like the general was the council of the military?
It is public knowledge that, like, surprise, surprise,
I think he's
head
talking
honcho.
About did we want to get somebody to look into their secret activities?
Yeah, like the public stuff that's easily enough seen. The not public stuff is what I'm talking about.
Oh, no, I'm good on the not public stuff. I just would be curious to know their public stuff.
Okay. Council seats.
Well, Finding out their secret dealings and whatnot could be beneficial.
I mean, if we were keeping them alive, but I think all of them are dying.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just
it
gonna
could turn out that one of them is like the leader of the Assassin's Guild or whatever. So it might be helpful to know if they have other resources they might call on or have at their disposal.
The idea is that this will be so swift and so quickly executed that they will not have time to draw on those resources. And even if they do, they have to, gather their resources and take their own time. The whole plan is contingent on the fact that it happens swiftly and well executed. If they have time to start gathering their resources, it's going to fall apart no matter what.
I can see that. But yeah. Starting off with the public knowledge of the dwarf council seat. Their main process is mineral deposits, mineral transactions, as well as enchantment-based stone magic. You can tell that they are primarily used and abused for basically they're the miners of the area, bringing in the sediment, the soil, the high focus cost items for casters. The halflings are recently new there, but their main operating system is transportation based. They bring in steeds able to summon Feywild creatures into the area to basically be domesticated, brought in, and the like. They are also used primarily to get one person to one location in the kingdom in the other, which is interesting. You can look more of that up on it later, but it is very expensive. The elven group themselves are trained in military-styled work. However, they are not military themselves. They just have that kind of skill. They themselves are primarily for magic-based enchantment items, as well as the taming of the wyvern and riding regiment. Not regiment, sorry. Wyvern and riding steeds. Often than not, they are used to basically break animals and then, use said animals for various means in the kingdom. Zahn himself is, ironically enough, the faith of the kingdom. Well, no, I'm going to do it in the way my notes say. So I'm not going to paint a darker look or vision, because this is the public knowledge you're getting. Zahn is the faith of the kingdom. He is governed underneath the God of Light. However, it just reads, or at least in the notes you find, just reads God of Light. There is no name attached to it, just the God of Light and Judgment. He is the faith and value of this kingdom currently.
I would have gone to see if I could get the my contact in the town, the one I've been talking with, and see if she could help gather some more information on them, because I know Aster might not trust them, but I trust them because of, my position.
Yeah.
So I would gather the secret details of all the council members. See if she would be willing to help that.
She does state that will take time, and that'd be putting my life and the one other individual from Aquas here's life in danger, minus yourself.
Let's just say we're still within the second month, right?
Yeah.
Early second month, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just say, and you said, Aster, that you wanted to more or less do the plan during the festival?
Yeah.
I trust Aster, but I also trust these people too, because let's just say during the festival, whether it works or not, there's going to be a change of rulership.
Roll persuasion with no, not advantage, disadvantage. Honestly, you're telling her to basically forego her post and do a job that
For the
is not her
The-
own.
well, I mean, I'm not telling her. I'm asking her, so it's like she can refuse.
Yeah, sorry, purchase the words. Asking her to do a job that is not what she was assigned to do.
Could give me a second to get back. I'm not at my computer at the moment.
Yeah, no problem.
Second, hold on.
It's not good. We can take our 5 here then. Because I found my cat. I don't know where they were hiding.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll, and we will take our 5-minute break after you roll.
All right. Oh, 17.
She does state, it might be beneficial whether you fail or do not fail. I will check in on the matters, but that doesn't mean I will guarantee success.
That's all I'm asking. It's not a problem if you can't gather the information. But I believe in your abilities.
We'll see. All right.
Me,
Uh,
my bear, and my 2 friends leave.
Ashton Gasami or 1 and 2?
1 and 2.
Okay.
Because I assume that they're gonna follow me.
Yeah. Straight up. That's
Yeah.
what they're doing. You do so. Information may not be gathered in a couple of days. While everything's training, commotioning, gaining new skills and the like, we will take our 5-minute break here, and we will determine whether or not this succeeds or fails. Because I do need to make roll for her. You just don't automatically pass. All right, I'll be right back. And I'm back. Come back. Boom, boom. Welcome back, I think. All good. Generally just playing techno until Kasami gets back.
Yeah. I would have told her also. I forgot to say this before because I was kind of rushing back to the computer. That if she feels like, I know she would know to do this, but like if she feels like her life's in danger of uncovering this, to abandon it all. Don't do it if she feels like I can't talk tonight. Don't do it if she feels like it's gonna cause her to get killed.
She more or less tells you that's a given in this.
I mean, I know it's a given, but I'm just reinforcing it. Like, I don't want her to die, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I slept so much today. I got home this morning around 7 and laid down. When did I say I was laying down?
About 4:30.
No, that's when I had just woken up after laying down initially.
Mm.
I think, yeah, it was around. As right before Hunt responded to my question about Critical Role. I had fallen. I sent that while I was laying down, and I passed out not long afterwards. And then I woke up at 2:30, and then laid back down at 4. And that's the reason why I slept through a good chunk, the first start.
Also, welcome back, Raucus.
Oh, I should probably stop playing techno then. I honestly don't know why I was playing. I think just a change of music.
Everybody needs a little music in their life.
But yeah, a few more days pass after the conversation with your connection here. A few bouts here and there. Aster continuing on his relationships with his men and team. Kasami more or less asking people if they know anything or two about fighting. Roy seems to be the best swordsman here. So, there's that. That being the case, though, eventually you do hear, or at least Milo, you do get a missive back from what appears to be. It looks like a squirrel at first glance, but when it gets closer, you realize it's a prairie dog. It does have a little missive on its back, and once unfurling it, you do see that it burrows into the ground and disappears.
All right.
Inside the note, it does read, mission compromised.
I'll
It does read more, but it says mission compromised at the beginning, and it does state, had to leave before any connections could be tethered back. I rolled a 5 with their modifier.
That's fine. I'll
I didn't roll a 1, so, she didn't get captured or dead. But
Yeah,
a 5 plus her modifier is not good enough.
yeah, that's understandable. I'll send her, like, I know the prairie dog's gone, but when I do that, I would have had the bird that day, and I would have it take a response saying, understood, glad you're safe. And then it'll come back when it comes back.
The next following
Change.
days, you do get a missive that simply states, have to leave the kingdom. Good luck out there.
Okay.
Face shown. Which just means that her face was seen. So she can't work here anymore.
Yeah. And I would send another one back. I apologize.
Yeah. In the meantime, everything else is happening as well. Yeah.
So near the end of month 3 is when the fall festival is happening, I assume.
Yes, it's basically oh, now that I think about it, it's basically Halloween or Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I figured that. I thought that was done on purpose.
No, it's done basically at the time of autumn. But I honestly didn't think about that until just now.
The Harvest Festival.
Yeah, it's basically pick up everything before the snow gets here. But while we're doing this, let's have a party.
Isn't that what Halloween used to be called? A Harvest Festival?
Probably. It was probably called a lot of things. I don't think Halloween was the first go.
At the start of month 3, I'll change the specialty training to exclusively focus on basically civil defense, like quelling riots and ensuring like peaceful resolutions to civilian unrest.
All right.
And I will also send for Jean.
I don't think anyone's got his name right. Oh, so does anyone else hear an echo?
Is it my echo?
I don't know where it's from.
It's me, my bad. I'm on my phone, so.
But I'll send for him, and I'm going to ask him to see if there is a way that basically I need to be able to speak into something and then have my voice be projected in other locations, but loud.
Okay. Asking him this, he comes by one day. Through it all, he does state, what you want is thaumaturgy. I do have a scroll for that if you need. Not everything needs to be an item.
It needs to be heard very far and wide, if you understand. And with distance attached to it.
How far? This is during your off time where you went to a store. You're not technically here.
Preferably large enough that it would encapsulate at least 70% of, say, a large gathering, a festival, perhaps.
Well, thaumaturgy would clear a good amount of that, but we
and
can...
a good distance away, perhaps, say, in a castle.
We might be able to set up amplifiers, but I would need to know where exactly you need to or would decide to shout out from.
During the autumn festival, where does the king usually reside?
He oversees the festival alongside his family and his current mistress, with his 2 children to the side of them together. His mistress and his daughter in one booth, and him and his son in the other. They oversee the festival on goings on and off, and attend in the evening the I'm forgetting what it's called. They have bands and performances, concert. That's what it was. In the evening. Alongside that, there is an open air market there. So there are festivities and all of that about.
And where is this booth of theirs located?
On the high rise. In the town square.
So here is what is going to happen. I need you to arrange for the military to be allowed to hold a parade of sorts. We will start, say, at the gates, and we will march and make merry and postulate, for lack of a better term.
I can say for the arrangements to have this happen, but you would need to speak with the council and have that approved.
I will do so. Then have it end in the town square, where I will have my men dismissed so that they may join the festivities. I will be making my move that night. I need there to be very little, as much confusion as I can minimize, the better. And this is to farther that goal.
Very well then. During this month, I will have amplifiers set up in town, all surrounding the town square, which would allow you to use any thaumaturgy, whether scroll or... I suppose I can find an item, but honestly, they're expensive. Well, looks towards your team. I am bankrolling you. Not that expensive.
If the scroll will do for the amplifiers, it is more than enough.
It will, but you only have a casting time of a minute.
A few scrolls.
Very well then. Actually, at that point, you would just need the item. I'll see if I can find the item. Let's remind you. Speaking of which, I could not find the amulet to speak with plants and animals. Unfortunately, I could not find anyone that had it. It's not exactly something heavily desires. I also rolled a 4 plus modifier.
No, we'll probably figure out a way to create it myself.
It's possible. I mean, you have the spell, as you mentioned beforehand. You just need the knowledge of an enchanter and an infuser. It shouldn't be too difficult, as long as you have money. He paused there for a second, thinking, "You're gonna ask me for money, aren't you?" You believe.
I don't respond.
Yeah. It's not like he said it out loud. It's more something on his face that gave that away. But with that, he does nod towards your team. He's technically in the shop, so you guys leave, but technically he leaves on this map. And a few days later, I'm just gonna roll a d20 because I only did those rolls because those one. Sure now I roll high. You find your thaumaturgy item, Aster. It's a nice little wristband jewel that has like a weird emblazoned T on it. This is thaumaturgy jewel. It is governed and used by various evil wizards, witches, demons. Ironically enough, it only costs 300 gold. But I am able to sell it to you for 150.
Would
Thank
give
you.
me some money, but I ain't got none.
It's a good thing you're bankrolling us. Actually, I haven't gotten paid for my position. Am I getting paid?
Yeah, you are.
Nice.
I assumed as much. Do I have the money to pay for this?
You do.
I'll just pay for it.
Eventually you figure out how your job actually works. You go to Amber, who is the person that figured out all of this. So when he says, luckily it only costs 150 since I'm helping you out. And you think to yourself, have I been getting paid to my job? Wait right here. You go meet Amber, who is at your tentacle mansion. If you guys are staying at the mansion, you've been seeing her when you get there at night. She just waves towards you and sleeps in the rafters. So when you go back there, state, hey Amber, where's my money? She takes you to a little safe deposit area that is a walk-in safe, and she does state, once a week you are paid a dividends of cash, gold, jewels, dependent on how they want to pay you, and it's all deposited here. Right now, technically you are in a transference process. You can only access what you have worked so far. So I'm afraid you only have 1,000 gold accessible to you right now.
Thank you. That's plenty. And I take the gold and I go back to Jean.
Oh wait, it's been 2 months and like a little bit of a half.
Again, I thought this was around like the start of the 3rd month.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, it would be 1,000. What am I talking about? Yeah, 1,000 gold, which is a lot.
Money for my purposes.
Oh yeah, perfectly. You come back, give him 150, or do you try to haggle him for less?
You just give him the money.
You just give him the money. He seemed like he was about to start haggling, because he knows Milo. But stops himself after you give him the money. He nods and then states, very good. We have the amplifiers, some of them set up already, but it will take a week before the festivities happen to finish the entire thing.
That's fine, so long as they're ready by the time the festivities start.
This should be.
I'll speak with the council as soon as possible. I don't expect them to offer any resistance as to like a parade on the ongoing festivities.
Normally they wouldn't, but you are new. If I had to guess, they are likely going to test your resolve. Politics.
So I'll set that meeting up, and we can do that whenever. And then about a week before the festivities start, I want to speak with the generals and commanders and the like. And about the day before the festivities, I want to address the entirety of the troops.
Okay. And first council, I should probably have updated that map. But
And then, if anyone has anything else they want to do in the meantime, I'm just trying to make sure I say everything I want to make sure I do, so it's out there.
Let me roll for something. King is there. Most of the time, he just is not there.
I would be spending time with the two new friends that liking
Yeah.
outside the city, trying to get to understand their capabilities, like training with them to better understand and setting up like how they're gonna help.
Yeah. I mean, there is the Hoover. Sorry, it's not called the Hoover Town here. There is the Shanty Town.
You don't really want to reveal what they are now.
Okay.
Quite-
You spend your time outside in the woods. More or less, they don't ever take off their stuff. But from time to time, they go out hunting. You don't know for what, but so far no one has gone missing, so they could subside on just food.
I'd like to go with them to see how they.
Milo, go ahead and roll athletics or acrobatics to try to keep up.
I mean, I could. When they start to go, I would transform into a direwolf to keep up with.
Oh, okay, that should be fine then. If you didn't, you would have potentially not kept up pace with him. As they go out almost in a near break sprint, clocking in at 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds, you turn and form into a direwolf and go out hunting as well. They go off hunting in a packed pattern, encircling the enemy, air quotes, and hunting them down. One strikes down an elk they find with a quick snap of the neck, and the other one goes in and stabs it in the heart in 2 quick motions without even missing a beat. Before you even get there, they are currently dragging it back to the campsite.
Like, what's their speed? Because the direwolf's 50.
60.
Okay. I'm just
Like, just barely before you get there. They got their actions before you got yours. Yeah. But they're basically dragging it. One of them looks down towards you and states, you can go ahead and hunt of yourself. We only require one.
I'll disappear into the woods for a little bit.
You go out. Go ahead and roll survival. You find a nice fully grown deer without too much of an issue. You're easily able to bring it down and bring it back. Or just eat it, like, right then and there. You're a tentacle direwolf. You don't have to cook it.
Yeah, I'll just eat it.
Yeah.
Then in direwolf form, because, I mean, anything I consume in this form is consumed in... I like...
Yeah.
If I eat, I fill my belly. And
you fill your belly just fine, and by the time you get back to the campsite, you can tell that the 1 and 2 are almost as done with their meal. The time it took you to finish off yours, they were able to cook most of theirs, save some of it for rations, but finished off with their meal. 2 does look towards you in your direwolf form and does state, I take it that is some sort of magic?
I'll once I'm in like the little campsite, I'll retake my regular form. Per se.
Fair enough.
I can bend nature to my...
You're a channeler then. Well, I'm glad you can change back. We're kind of stuck in half beast, half humanoid form. So, hence the mask. It also dampens the thirst for blood.
Maybe I can find a way to help not just you two, but all your friends.
That's how we were born, mostly.
Well, I mean, if y'all would want it, it's to help it. You could say no, it's fine.
One does state, it is appreciated, but if you are born this way, there is really no helping it. Not unless you can cast a miracle.
Not yet.
This is who we are. We're perfectly fine with it. But thank you for your consideration.
Like I told, out of character, what was her name again? Their leader?
Fauna.
Fauna. Like I told Fauna, when the fighting does start, try to stay close to me so that I can see who you quote unquote fight.
All right, it was Farah.
Fair.
Thank you,
To
Yoko.
make sure I keep my promise to her by not spreading it.
Understood. Fauna is someone else in my Thursday game. Hence naming tokens all in one batch. Farah the Feral Furry. Nice. They not agree.
I do want to spar with you guys, just like not anything. We don't have to roll. I just want to learn how they fight together and how I can incorporate myself into it for what's to come, because there's going to be some fighting, and that's basically all I want to do until the festival.
Yeah. You can tell that they work in tandem, paired up together. They themselves don't want to give this curse, in many people's eyes, in theirs, that's just how they are, to others. So if they have to attack someone, they put them down. But that doesn't mean people don't get away. Hence why Farah told you, bring them down, if need be. And in your mind, or you can cure them, if you're able to. But they
Do
seem...
I know of a way to cure if someone was to get...
In the immediate, not really. You've heard of lycanthropy, often not spread through slashing from said lycanthropes or bites from them. There are rumored ways of curing it, but if it's not done immediately, well, then they kind of are that way. If you're born being a lycanthrope, there is no current known way of fixing that.
Like, do I know whether or not lesser restoration or greater restoration will do it?
You can roll history to see if you read up on this type of thing.
Nope. Natural one.
Nope. It may or may not work. You're not entirely sure. Maybe if you put your mouth where the wound is and suck out the bad blood, that might work.
Alright.
This isn't something Milo has delved deep too much.
Fine. That's fine.
I don't know. Maybe become a leech and find out. Slurp slurp. But no. You can tell that they fight.
I'm not gonna have them scratch me and try to fix it. Find out
Yeah, I know.
that
But
goes against what they want.
you can tell that they do fight in tandem. One strikes first and then the other one. And if that doesn't stop them, they basically pincer the enemy to prevent them from moving. Which means that if they do move, both of them get a strike of opportunity. They are very adept at bringing things down. Hence why people are so afraid.
I will sit and tell them this. If it looks like it's going bad and your lives are in danger, you're to run.
Thank you, but that was our intention. We don't
No, I just wanted
intend to die.
I figured as much, but I just wanted to, like, what's the word? State it. Like, I would feel no heartbreak or betrayal. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Of course. 2 does state, it is considerate of you, but we will think of our lives first before all others. Well,
Yes.
dependent on all others.
And if your lives are in danger, I will do my best to protect them. Best I can.
And we in turn.
If what's going to happen does not work, I will not be alive.
Yes, well, that is why we're here. To try to help out. But you spend a couple more days learning their fighting style, or at least attempting to try to figure things out. So, how they basically work is on the same turn you work. So you can tell them, hey, attack this thing, attack that thing, defend this person, defend that person. I have their skills and stuff, so when you tell them to do something, they'll do it.
Is it a bonus action, free action?
They're their own person, so once it becomes your turn, you just order them and they'll do it.
Yeah, but is it my... Because bear takes my bonus action.
Free action.
It's a free action, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
They're
Alright.
their own person, it's just mechanically they're on your turn.
Got it, okay. I will, during this process, show them the different forms I take. Because this is over a few days, and I will show them while I'm in these forms, when I do a certain motion, it means to attack or to defend, in case I can't verbally speak with them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So.
Good call, because I might have messed with you on that one.
Yeah, I'll show them. I'll show them the they've seen the direwolf form, but I'll show them how I communicate with them in that form.
Yeah.
I will show them the Wendigo form, and I will. There was another form I had, but I lost it like a week. I was looking at last week, but I forgot. So.
Elephant?
No, I can't do that quite yet.
Baby elephant, then. I don't know, horse. Yeah, you show them your forms and show indicating markers where it means attack this, attack that, defend, etc., etc. You come up with a way of communicating without necessarily speaking to one another.
Right.
But while you do that, Kasami, is there anything you're doing before Aster goes and speaks with the council to get his party?
No, probably just gonna keep up the usual.
Okay. While you're training and doing all that, Roy does look towards you while you're fighting. So tell me, Miss Kasumi, do you perchance want to learn that skill I mentioned a while ago? You never took me up on it. It's alright if you don't. We all have our own fighting skills.
It could be an interesting ability to add to my arsenal.
So, yes?
Yes, I'd like to learn it if that's okay.
Oh, of course. You spend a few days while all this is happening learning this skill. Basically, what it does is if you have multi-attack, it eats up both of those attacks. But in turn, it gives you half of your bonus to one of those attacks to the full attack. So if your bonus is 9, it would be a d20 plus 9 plus an additional 5 because it's rounded up. So that'd be a very, very big bonus. And if you do manage to hit, it is double the damage, so a crit. You can either double the dice or double the damage. And dependent on what kind of weapon you have, it's a very good thing to have. It's not super game breaking, but at the exact same time, it almost guarantees a hit. Almost. You can still roll a 1. It does have to be used as an action. So you can't Fury of Blows using this thing.
Yeah.
That being said, you're easily able to train and learn that skill. Because it has been a couple of weeks. And he probably would have brought this up a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, you can name the skill whatever you want. In my notes, I just have... it's some dumb name. Oh, it's called Orc Slash in my notes. You can name it whatever you want. But yeah, while training, you can tell that morale is improving, things are operating properly, and Aster's soldiers are working well with the things and everything else that's going on. It seems that maybe Aster was taught how to lead, or maybe he was born to lead. Either way, things are working properly. As you make way towards the said designated meeting before the fall festival, now let's see if you can lead a percussion of soldiers into a party. Procession, thank you, of soldiers into a party. But first, he needs approval. Asher, you
So
get
what
here.
did you say the
Go ahead.
attack bonus was again?
Alright, it adds on half of your bonus to attack. And if you hit it, it doubles the damage or doubles the dice of your attack.
Okay.
And depending on what you're trying to do, it can be very good. Or you can roll a 1 and then you just lose both attacks. So use it at your own convenience. It was Giant Toad and Ice Spider and 2 other monsters. I mean, Beast. Okay. Asher bringing up this meeting, and while things are going on, you bring up the whole military parade. Let's see. The dwarven woman looks towards you, being half of the bankrollers here, and she does state, is there any reason why we would need this? Sure, it would grow morale to see the soldiers and all that, but is this really necessary?
Is anything in a festival really necessary? Of course, it's simply so that all can see the soldiers, see their strength, and I can introduce myself as the new general. Get my face out there so that people understand who I am.
Zon does look... Go ahead.
They can see their soldiers. I think that'll be good for both the soldiers' morale as well as the people's. I just see no issue as to why we would not have the parade. It would add another festivity to it all. I think there's nothing to dislike about the idea.
The elven man does look towards you after that, and he does state, given that as it may be, any reason why you intend to do this? I take it it's not simply for the morale, but perhaps prestige of showing off to the general populace. You are new here. I gather this is a ploy for more support behind you.
Again, I would be a liar if I said that getting my face out there is not part of the reason. I do wish to introduce myself to the people so that they know who is in charge of their army, or who's at least been training them. But again, that is only part of it, and a smaller piece than the general morale and adding to the festivities bit.
The halfling woman does stay towards you, and then looks towards the rest of the council in addition to you. I don't see anything wrong with it. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, and the town guards are stationed around town, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue as long as the soldiers, I suppose, Mr. Astor, are willing to normally take their day off and do this.
They will be getting released soon after the parade to join the festivities themselves.
King Anak does state, there doesn't seem to be an issue on this matter. However, and then before he can finish, Zon does more or less raise his hand, and the king looks towards him. Zon, thank you, Your Majesty. I think this is a good idea. Giving and showing support to the new military strength would be a burden off of many people's shoulders. He is new here, so it should be apparent to many that he is capable of leading his people, as well as our people. I wouldn't be opposed to this entire thing, and I take it that neither anyone here would be, minus the political matters at hand. However, I would like my own followers to go and spread the good news of light In addition to this, why not give them hope and blessings alongside morale, as it would? The king does look towards the council. Jean did mention that they would be bankrolling your side, and Zahn, I am assuming you're going to bankroll your own, naturally. As long as no one else has an issue with this, I see why we can't not have this, if everyone's in according, blanking on the word.
Accord.
With this,
Will religious figures not be needed for other ceremonies? I worry that having them in the parade might distract from their actual duties, is my only concern.
oh no. As on then states, we'll be blessing the crowds and giving tithes and all these things, in addition to your parade. It'll be a good sense of faith, and having, well, the light bless all. In addition to you, wouldn't that be grand, showing good faith between both branches?
Are me and Kasumi here with him?
Yeah, you're in the background.
Insight check him. To see if I can ascertain if he's doing this to keep Aster in check.
Well, perhaps I don't dislike the idea. Perhaps shortly after the military is dismissed, the religious leaders come in. Ideally, my good king, if it wouldn't trouble you none, I would like to address the people as well at the end of the parade. Nothing too long or too fanciful, but I would like to address them and give the official order to dismiss my troops, so that they might show their bearing and join amongst the general populace at the end of the parade. And then shortly thereafter, the religious affairs could start up.
Looks towards Zahn. Zahn nods. Milo, yeah, it's more or less keeping Aster in check, like, try anything, and we'll see what happens. He doesn't exactly know what Aster's up to, but, like, after only 3 months in trying to, in his mind, to sway the crowd, the people, to his side, he doesn't like that. Entire reason why he's the faith leader in this area. Doesn't want to lose any sheep, as it would be. But the king does not look towards Zahn. Zahn does state, very well then. I'll have my people in the crowd, and when our time is right, we will do our own, as it would, celebration. The king nods, and looking towards the rest of the council, he does state, any opposed? Very well then. Mr. Aster, I wish you good luck. You will need it.
Thank you. And I would like to humbly extend that if anyone would like to inquire for extra protection or any of the like during the parade, I can offer up some of my more highly trained men in pursuit of that matter.
You hear the elven man scoff. Zahn more or less doesn't say anything. The dwarven woman does state, well, depending, I would need a few more men that can carry a few jewels here and there. You never know if there's pickpockets around. The halfling woman does state, I should be fine. But thank you, Mr. Aster. The king does state, I have my own contingency. But it is noted.
So at the conclusion of the parade, I will... what is a good spot that I might be able to address my men from?
There is the stage in the middle of town where I and my family keep watch over the entire thing.
Good king, it would do me a great honor to be able to share that view with you, if only for but a brief moment, while I make my address.
I'm afraid that's a little too familiar.
Of course. Then do you have another venue that I might do my address from?
There is the stage right across, where the entertainment plays, does their song and dance. They even have microphones for your little... How did you say it? Speech.
That is most excellent. Thank you. I will do my address from there.
He nods. The rest of the meeting more or less goes on as planned. They talk about books, potential targets for military things of that nature. It looks towards you. You more or less give plans or reasons why no more troops should go into the bordering area. You give the king standing orders about the rest of the soldiers in the area and have them more or less wait right now as to not potentially cause any waves in the area. The king more or less nods and everyone else gives their own presentation and things of that nature. You more or less finish this without too much of an issue, without anyone truly knowing what you have in mind. But you can also tell Zahn more or less doesn't like you. The elven man likes no one. The dwarven woman is more interested in her money. So if you decide to send in some people with her, you're able to. The halfling woman thanks you, but believes that her own people will be enough protection. But you're able to get out of there without any fighting. At least physically. Mentally, it was annoying.
And then, yeah, like I said, then a week before the parade, I'd like to address the generals, and then the day before, I want to address the entirety of the troops.
All right. I think I still have that map set up.
So just kind of like after our meeting, our strategy and war games, I hold them all back, and I start the conversation off with a theoretical question. I would like to pose a theoretical situation to all of you.
They nod.
And using the war game pieces, I kind of illustrate what the town center would look like during the festival, and put down a piece for the king.
Yeah.
In a situation like this, and I'll start putting out pieces to represent groups of civilians. It would be very prudent to maintain order so that no undue harm was done, yes?
You more or less make a facsimile of, the town square. You looked at it before this meeting, so you're able to more or less pick out a potential map, because I've already made it, of how things would look. Stalls, venues, people around the area, the king and his son to one cubicle, and the queen-ish, generally his mistress, and his daughter to the right one. Everything's spewed about, so it is viable and feasible. You also see the stage where things would happen. Giving the people this information, or at the very least, giving the generals this information. What next do you say?
it would be important to maintain order while striking swiftly so that one might be able to quell any disturbances, yes?
Tristan does state, naturally, it would be in everyone's best interest for the very minimal amount of fighting and losses of life.
But in a situation in which a very powerful head of power is removed, a vacuum of sorts is created in which things struggle to fill in that power gap. So it's also important to seal that as quickly as possible, no?
Bartle does state, in most cases, yes, which is why they have, kings have line of succession, generals have leaders below them. However, in this case, the king did place you at hand, so as long as there's someone able to, someone would be next in line, I suppose.
All of you, if this conversation is to continue any farther, I would like to reveal a truth to you all. I hope that whatever faith or trust I have given you is not misplaced, and that you can trust me given these last few months, and believe that I have shown my true character to all of you.
One, two, three, five. Okay, I only needed the majority of them. You can tell that all of them are willing to listen. More or less, they are pensive, but that's only because they don't know what you're about to say.
I'm going to start off by revealing my signet ring and setting it on the table and just gauging their reactions.
Some of them don't really know what it means. Tristan is shocked and surprised. Saul is confused. Roy technically knows what it is, but has no context connections to it. So Tristan would be the first one to speak up. How do you have that? Only the royal lineage has that.
Indeed. Only the royal lineage has this.
Did you steal it or acquire it from them?
My name is Aster Altor. I was the firstborn of King Enoch.
You see, 4 out of 5 people are confused, and Saul does state, the firstborn is not named Aster. And Tristan speaks up at this point. Actually, the firstborn is named Aster, but he was sent out to die in the woods. And Saul then states, and you know this how? I am far older than you, and some noble secrets are passed down, but they're also kept. George, in this point, then states, I have a hard time believing you are who you say you are, but I've never needed a reason to not trust Tristan. So for now, let us assume you are, as you stated, the firstborn. Based off of what we know now, it seems that your intention is close to being clear, and that is to be the next heir.
I will talk in riddles or mince words no longer. Come festival night, I mean to reclaim the throne and to take back the vision of Mauritania that I would like to envision.
Aster, roll persuasion. No one is currently against you, but no one's favorable enough to have advantage against any of them. Unless you want to add something.
Nope, those are my honest feelings, and he's not gonna try to sweet talk it.
Okay. Each one of them does have a separate DC, DC to beat. So some might be harder, some might be easier, but the roll is still flat. 18 plus 21.
18 plus 21, nice.
I forgot to add plus 3 equals 21.
I'm thinking, hold on.
You begin to think pensively, all the while looking into George's eyes and realize, wow, he has very beautiful hazel eyes. I must murder him. But then you think otherwise. All right, I need this guy still.
Wait, nope, still useful. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use Lucky to try and get something better.
Okay, I believe with Lucky you can choose the better of the two, or you can just choose which one. And I think from what we talked about before, you can re-roll the D8.
Yeah, that's how I was understanding it. So, from a 21 to a 29.
Why would you have an advantage?
Because I'm just gonna use 2 versions of Lucky to roll that advantage, basically.
Okay. Burning through a lot of things to succeed, which honestly, it's D&D. That's what you do. 29. Aster, you can tell that they all are very pensive. You just asked them to betray the kingdom, more or less, but at the exact same time, to help the kingdom out. A lot of them don't like what's currently going on. Roy is indifferent, let's face it, but he's willing to hear someone out through and through. Saul understands where you're coming from and doesn't like this entire thing. In fact, that's the entire... I think that was the first sentence he told you. You and the rest of the team. So you feel like he's totally down for this.
Yeah, Saul has been actually down for treason since day 1.
Yeah. Just never had a force behind that. George is willing to listen to you. He doesn't like you. Doesn't care for you. But you don't matter in this regard to him. As long as the people are taken care of, he doesn't care who leads so long as they are safe. So still doesn't like you, but willing to listen. Bartle, you can tell that doesn't like the system here. Has gone through the ringer from time to time to time to time. Been arrested 5 times. So she knows how things work here. Until she had power, she couldn't do anything. And even still, with this much, she can't do anything. So a new face to the kingdom, even though doesn't know how you look, is something she's willing to listen and hear out. Tristan's a noble through and through. He knows you're a noble. By that alone, he was not that difficult to persuade. So I'll give you the numbers. Roy was 14. Saul was 10. I needed to give him a number, but I needed a reason for you to fail. George was 20, not natural, but 20. Bartle was 18. And Tristan was 15. You just blew all of those out of the water.
Yeah.
But you can tell they're willing to listen to you. You give him the presentation, the whole bullet point marks, and this is how he dies, and potential necessity for new council members due to the fact that they are complacent with all the messed up things that happened and are still currently happening in the kingdom.
I will make an address to the soldiers the night before the festival, but I need to rely on all of you to keep your regiments intact to maintain order. Know that the first dismissal I give after the speech is a fox dismissal. They are still to be on guard. Take note of the council members and their locations. And once the fighting starts, they are to do their utmost to execute the council members. Be wary of the clergy. I believe Zahn is also planning something. But luckily we will be going before him, so we will have initiative. We will strike hard, we will strike fast. Ideally, the civil unrest training will be put to good use, so civilian casualties are minimized, and I will sit on the throne before the festival is even really kicked off.
They nod, salute, and you can tell that all of them are willing to do this. For their own reasons, of course, but easily willing to listen to you. They excuse themselves, getting ready for the night's end, and to prepare for what is to come. However, Roy is still there, but after everyone leaves, coming towards you towards one end, he takes out a knife, and then takes out another knife, which are ebony and ivory, and he puts them on the table. Looking at this, you're wondering why he's doing this, but then he states, I do not know what is to come, but if you do require my blade, then I shall offer it to you. I am not a fan of my father, so if you believe he is someone that is willing to harm the populace, I am willing to listen to you. And your companion, Miss Yoko, was it? Oh, no, he doesn't know yet that name. Woo! He doesn't say Miss Yoko.
Kasumi, yes?
Kasumi. Yeah, Miss Kasumi would be capable enough to use one of these blades if you believe she is fit to.
I will not speak on her behalf. You would best be better off to offer them to her yourself. As for myself, I have my own blade and my own way of fighting that is very means-oriented.
Very well then. He picks up both of the blades and puts them back to his side. Then I wish us well. And to you, Mr. Astor, potential new king of, well, a kingdom. I wish you luck. And if you wouldn't mind, could I be the one to kill my father?
Your father, he is, Zahn?
Zahn de la Torre, yes.
There is someone who wants him dead, but I will not stop either of you from claiming his head.
Then I suppose it is who gets to him first, then. He nods, and then begins to head out.
You'll have to share it.
Roy doesn't like sharing. Coming back to the team, the day after. More or less, I'm assuming after you tell Kasami and Milo, hey, things are at play, we're getting ready at hand.
Yeah, they basically have known the plan since day one, so
yeah, I mean like other people now know, so there's no going back.
Oh yeah, the secret's a little bit out of the bag at this point, so.
Yeah.
Does he tell me about Roy?
I'll let you know that you have a rival in claiming the head of Zahn.
I'll approach Roy at one point
when he's by himself.
And stab it in the back. Got it.
And just say, may the fastest.
All I heard was "May the fastest," so he nods.
Win.
Very well then, Mr. Milo. But let's give you a fair shot now then, shall we?
No. As long as he's dead. That's all that matters. If you get to him before I do, that's all. Fuck, I can't speak. All the more better.
He nods. Soon enough.
But
What?
Don't be upset with me if I get there before you and claim his head.
As long as one of us does.
Just nod to him and walk off, and the bear follows me, and my two friends follow me, and I go off to the side out of the way.
All right. 1 and 2 have been here this entire time. Just basically in the background. Isami, you're not in line. Right. The generals, the commanders, and the rest begin to line up as, Saul and the gang know what's up. So, gathering everyone to listen to Aster, what do you say?
Tomorrow is the day of the Autumn Festival. I assume everyone here is excited for it, yes?
They all nod.
As you know, I have secured us a parade of sorts, meant to show the civilian populace how far along the training has come, so that they might be at ease, to know that they are protected.
Some of them kind of groan, but don't say anything like, oh, why'd you do this? Because they kind of got a little pay raise because they're basically taking their holiday to do this. Who's paying it? Probably the guy that keeps bankrolling you.
It can come from my paycheck, I don't care.
You don't have enough. I'm going to tell you that already.
Fair enough. Tomorrow will be hectic and chaotic, and I promise a better explanation afterwards. When I give the signal to dismiss, you may look towards your generals, your commanders and officers. Follow their lead after my dismissal.
They nod. At the start of this, you can tell that, everyone has changed. Some may still not like you, some are indifferent, and some respect you. But they are all well trained. Now, while there's still some growing to do, not everyone's top to top shape, they are better than they were. They all are able to adhere to things and to listen to things rather than simply wander about and just point and shoot. Honestly, that's how they've been working so far. So they are able to listen to you. They understand what you're saying. So when you say at the end of things, when you are dismissed, look towards your generals and listen to them. They understand perfectly.
Regardless of what may or may not transpire tomorrow, know that I have been blessed to have trained alongside all of you these past few months. And it has done a great pleasure to see all of you evolve and grow into positions.
They take that into consideration, into heart, and when you begin to dismiss them, is there anything else you're saying?
Rest well. Prepare for the festival. And do your best to stay safe and protect those around you.
Giving the dismissal cue, Saul simply states out loud as a battle cry, "Who are we? The soldiers of Night and Valor. What do we fight for? For kingdom and crown. Who do we fight for? For the people and the lives led today. Dismissed!" And everyone is dismissed. Some of them still stick around because some of them don't have lives and decide to continue to train. Others just like to hang out in this area. One looks towards you, Aster. Beautiful speech, I suppose. Step back.
Who said that?
One.
Sorry, when you said one, I assumed that like one was like one of the generals, not one the person.
It's just one. Several naming schemes, remember.
It's served its purpose.
It did indeed. NPC number 2, then states, "Very well then. Where would you like ourselves and Mr. Milo be? Would we be accompanying you, or we should be lying in wait?"
Ideally, I would like the three of you to cause a... No, that's no good.
One then states, "Very good then."
Milo, I would like you close with me, but I will not direct your companions, and I will not direct you. Do as you will.
Go nuts is what Milo hears.
Milo just nods.
1 and 2 also agree. They're totally here to help Milo, and Milo's here to help you, so they thought they'd ask because they have no real idea where their current role in the plan lies, so
Just stay with me. And tell you who not.
they nod. And before Milo starts eating people during the festival. Could happen. But yeah.
What? It could happen.
It's happened before, but not at a festival. But yeah, you have the night before festival starts. Midday is when the percussion of soldiers will line up and parade through the city, ending at, well, the town square. I've already given you a hint and clue and vision of the map. I didn't know how fast we would get there. We didn't get there today, but you at least saw it, so you have some idea of how the layout is going to be and who's going to be there. However, there might be a change now because, well, Zahn is now involved. That doesn't mean the plan won't work. That just means that, surprise, surprise, the bad guy, whether he knows it or not, is trying to ruin your plan. We'll see how that turns out, because knowing this team, he might wind up naked in bed. Stab wounds everywhere. Who knows? We'll figure that out next time.
Them's the breaks.
In the session for today.